Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Hey, social media family. Being of any subscribers of, and as well, any visitors to that being in my own social media channel and our chat room or our comment section. How you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay. If not better yet to be said, to be feeling all right. Or if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise as well are all the same. And please do excuse, pardon, forgive me for butchering the English language as we have it, for not just practically, but then for possibly the umpteen consecutive time. And as I never had claimed to have become or be an English major, and so therefore, how much less have I ever claimed to have become or be an English professor? And so much for that conversation of dialogue, you know. And now that we have gotten the preliminaries out the way, being the basic intro as an introduction and our footnotes, likewise to accompany this present social media broadcast or video or whatever you want to make of it, you know. And as I have given you all the Cliff Notes version to it, but then first of all, let me say, did I already say that before? I'm sorry, it's been quite a day. I mean, believe me when I say that, and I'll say for record for that matter, what I have become subject to experiencing could be considered as a life crisis if you look at it in one regard, if not another, or from one point of view, if not vice versa, etc. Then let me say before I were to lose my train of thought, what was I about to say? See what I mean? Oh yes, I was going to ask you all, unless I already had, but then there's no harm in repeating that of the question and asking you all how your persons are doing. You know, well, hopefully all is well. And now let me answer this one question of this here user with the username of blasphemy. He wants to know how I'm doing. Yes, I'm going to tell you there's one and all, more than quite a few, whoever could get wind of this present social media broadcast, a video of mine. So let's just dive into it because I also want to maybe get me a little snack and call it a night. It's coming up on my bedtime hour, about an hour and a half from now, 11 p.m. hour that I established for myself, regardless of how certain neighbors been of my present neighbors from damn hell, of not just the worst, but of the worstest ones yet for where I'm at now, and not just one of the worst, but in one of the worstest of the area neighborhood communities, could possibly attempt to throw a monkey wrench in that program as well. When I could be barred with enough of these, excuse my language, pardon my French, dickheads or pricks out in the street, for premises properties of a mass transit of a public transportation system with all of this many different bus or train routes like the one I had become subject to experiencing today, this afternoon, as well as I could become subject to experiencing the likes upon premises properties for the atmospheres of, places of businesses, regardless be it word to be public or private. Then have to, be barred with my present neighbors from damn hell to complicate matters and compound the problem. And with that having been said, then let me get into, yes, I'm about to let you all know how I'm feeling tonight. Let me just dive into it, the present social media broadcast or video or whatever anybody wants to make of it. So here I was trying to get back to my pad much earlier when, after having, supposed to be taking care of some business at hand, as I rely quite heavily now upon that is once again that much more than how at one time or another I was trying to rely that much less on the atmospheres of free eating spots, or the likes being of which are commonly called and are known as soup kitchens, regardless of whether or not the one I had went to would be moonlighting as a food pantry, but then some of such do compared to other ones that don't. And so, you know, I'm trying to get back to my place of residence because I wasn't feeling too well. You know, or would I feel much better than what I feel like now? When you know, as I venture upon primitive properties for a mass transit of a public transportation system, with all of this bus and train routes that are many different ones, and as we know it, as namely that of, or as it is commonly called, and or commonly known likewise as that of CTA, Chicago Transit Authority. Here it is. I had encountered this one black male, rather let me say. I mean, I don't necessarily have to go there once again, but I don't necessarily have to go there calling him a dickhead or a prick or a stupid and sick son of a bitch bastard. I don't have to go there. And calling this cocksucker for what himself was coming off as. Because I'm minding my own business, like, right? As a matter of fact, it was for a bus route. It didn't matter what it had been for a train route, for that matter. And, like, I'm sitting behind the bus driver. And this black cocksucker of a SOB bastard, a thug to the bone, poop butt pissant punk ass, street punk, gangbanger of an older guy or old fella that should know better than to disrespect another male. But then stupid does the stupid feels. All right. And there's practically, if not possibly, nothing sadder than a gangbanger, a street punk who has reached the half a century mark, 50 years of age, with the exception being if one would be older than that and still stuck on stupid. So this cocksucker, he felt the need to get the railing on me. Was he put his bike on the front of the bus, and then he stood alongside of me as I'm seated in the back of the bus driver. Then he got to talking a whole bunch of trash against my person, where he is gonna run into somebody one of these days, and they're not gonna be so tolerant of his nonsense, be ready to take him out with the trash. I mean, why is it that black and Hispanic males corner the market, more than other non-white males when it comes to acting so damn ignorant and insane, disrespecting fellow passengers of a mass transit of a public transportation system, or fellow patrons of a place of business atmosphere for its premises, properties, otherwise, regardless of whether it would be public or private. You know, well, more black males than Hispanic males, although Hispanic males are the first run up to black males acting ignorant and insane, or in other words, stupid and sick. I mean, I'm just sitting behind the bus driver, and this cocksucker, you know, this black cocksucker, he goes at it. He goes at me, making me become subject to experiencing all of that unnecessary verbal abuse. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man, some bitch better. Your ass stink. Now, regardless of whether my person could have possibly been given off a peculiar odor or stench at that given moment in time, and depending on whether I have been feeling up under the weather lately, or depending on whether I have most recently been, battling about physical illness or ailment or a malady, whereas I could have possibly not been able to take care of my personal hygiene as soon as I would like to, you know, or even if I were to have become or be a homeless person, but then I'm not. I mean, after all, I do have a place of residence, where I pay annual monthly rent, utilities, and etc. for, although I am a tenant in not just one of the worst, but in one of the worstest Vicente area neighborhood communities now. After my last neighbor from down here had got me booted out of the last one I was a tenant in, as I explained to you all, after I went through all the proper policies and procedures of protocol, to state my grievances, as in complain about his many different daily and or nightly violations of his own apartment rental lease, and all the while at the same time he would disrespect my rights and privileges or disregard or ignore some of such, as his fellow neighbor of another resident or tenant, you know. And after I went through all the proper policies and procedures of protocol to state my grievances or complain about him to the management of the building, being an administrative real estate personnel representative, real estate administrative personnel representatives, and as well as I had reported him to the police a number of times, here it is that he retaliated out of resentment for my person having gone through all the proper policies and procedures of protocol to take care of necessary business at hand, to convince the management of the building, yes, as he successfully convinced them to give me the walking papers that he should have received, something similar to an eviction notice being of a non-renewal of apartment rental lease agreement memo document of paperwork. And upon short notice, I'm having to move to this, being as it is not just one of the worst, but one of the worst vicinity area neighborhood communities yet, just to keep from becoming of the rank and file of the homeless, But then getting back to the original subject matter or topic of discussion, to be debated of given argument, and with many different views and opinions to be possibly affiliated, associated with, and representing thereof, or the same as said in question of the former previous or prior mentioned. And as I think of it with that in my mind's attention to try to backtrack here, the reason or purpose of being, so I can go on to following from where and when that my person had last left off, so I can finish up as a complete of former previous prior line thought in the same sense of word. Or even if I were to have become or be homeless and be given off a rather peculiar odor or quite a bit of stint, but nevertheless, that don't give another person the right to humiliate somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're not going to provide a bar of soap for another person that could possibly be giving off a peculiar odor or stench, be one, like say, lately been up under the weather or most recently have been battling physical illness and have not been able to take care of one's personal hygiene as soon as one would have liked to, or be one were to be homeless for that matter and be given off the same of a peculiar odor or quite a bit of a stench. If you're not willing to go into your own pocket and into your wallet and pull out some change, get to putting down some money, to a local proprietor or owner of a business establishment of a store to make a purchase of, as in buy some kind of a personal hygienic kit for somebody else who could possibly be in need of it, or regardless of whether or not one were to be in need. But then I do have soap and water. Then if you're not, for my own place of residence, if you're not willing to, put down money to make a purchase of, as in buy another person who could possibly be giving off a peculiar odor or quite a bit of a stench so that one could take care of one's personal hygiene, then the best thing, no, I'm not going to say, best thing that shithead, piece of shit of a lousy street punk is that Ben could do is just to shut the fuck up, But if anything, let me rephrase that. Say, if you're not willing to do that, then the best thing that a lousy, thug to the bone, stuck on stupid, sicko of a lousy gang banging, street punk hoodlum, thug to the bone, son of a bitch bastard can do is to just shut the damn hell up, It was like he was attempting to push my emotional buttons for real, but I just ignored him. He was attempting to get me to engage in conversational dialogue with him, but I refused to do that. I just let him talk all the crap he wanted, though I had to get off the bus prematurely, how I wanted to ride further. Be I would to be thinking about taking care of some business or being about entertainment otherwise, pleasure or whatever I said. But I said, no, I'm just gonna get off. Then to give him any further pleasure to humiliate himself, because he wasn't humiliating me. As long as I didn't stoop to his level of ignorance and insanity, or stupidity and sickness, and as he was reminding me of certain neighbors from down here. And if you hear some noises in the background or interruptions, not meanings, audio coming from any electronic device of my own personal effects, belongings, or possession, but the same dickhead prick neighbors from damn hell where I'm at now. It's just them showing how much dickheads or pricks they could be. So I just got off the bus prematurely, okay? Because I felt threatened in my person. I don't know where his mind could be at from there as to whether or not, after he didn't cuss me out for a while, I wondered whether or not he was going to attempt to transform, some of such, all that verbal abuse and negativity into some kind of physical violence against my person. And I wasn't going to have it. Especially if I were to have been walking with a cane at some such given time, and if he had attempted to attack me, he would have gotten some of this here, or whatever I could have, on my person or my possessions to protect myself from an idiot and a sickle cocksucker as that being. It was an older black male that should know better, as I was saying, in more words or less, Motherfucker, I'm a bit that you stink. You stink. And I said, I was thinking in my head, maybe it's your damn upper lip that you smelling, cocksucker. Maybe you should quit sucking dicks behind closed and locked doors more than your much more familiar average faggot, or quit rad and prick more than the likes, or maybe it's your I'm not gonna say shithole, but rather maybe it's your asshole or a hole stinking from all the raping that he had took in it, coming from either your father or your stepdad. Don't blame me for you coming from a broken home. You never grew up, just an overgrown baby boy throwing a temper tantrum. As you assume that by attempting to belittle another male, that's supposed to make you look bigger. If anything, it shows how much of a big overgrown baby boy that your ass is. By attempting to cut me down with words. Whereas he was mouthing off, whereas he didn't show any of that being a respect. I mean, sorry, as he was disrespecting. I'm still really, I can't get my words together. I'm assuming not to mean to contradict myself. He was showing the least bit of respect for me is what I meant to say. He was disrespecting me, and therefore he was disrespecting other passengers. I mean, they should not have to hear all that, disrespect coming from him. He wasn't showing me the proper respect that he should have given me. Because I wasn't doing anything to him. I didn't even say anything to him, to warn all that. But anyway, I would like to think. I mean, it's a no-brainer, of course, quite naturally. I mean, any other passengers, if they had heard me discussing matters with the bus driver, whereas I didn't stoop to his level of ignorance, I chose not to say anything to him, none whatsoever. I just totally ignored him. See, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. He was hoping that I would engage in conversation and dialogue with him. I mean, after he didn't say it, Man, you stink. Man, your ass stink. What makes him think I'm going to engage in a conversation of dialogue with him that would prove to be at least half decent after he had already, disrespecting me with other kind of conversation of dialogue? I'm like, Negro, you a damn fool. You're not entitled to. Now, man, would you smell like that? Don't you think that the bar's open? After he attempted to provoke me, attempted to push my emotional button, for whatever day he had, like he wanted to engage in verbal dialogue of hostility of a conversation with me to make himself feel better or whatever the case or situation. And then to think that some black bitch or black hoe, probably of the licensed kind, she had to put her 2 cents in where it didn't belong. But I ignored her ass too. Her funky foul stinking ass. Stinking just as much as his ass with the damn dick mouth running. Dick mouth or diarrhea of the mouth. Dick mouth or diarrhea of the mouth running overtime. So I can know what her I'm not gonna say sour pussy ass, but she may as well be like cause she looked like she's nothing more than a damn tramp bitch asshole. But I ignored the both of them. And he couldn't say anything after that, after a while. But I got off prematurely. So that's what I had to put up with today. Come from this dick mouth cocksucker of a lousy black Negro gangbanger, street punk or hood, thug. I said black Negro, using the derivative of the N word, but I think you get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. I mean, brothers like him give other brothers a bad name. And he was mouthing out in front of white people, a white person at that, as well as other races of people, person, showing how much of a damn fool and sicko his ass is, coming off, just mouthing off to me. Man, you stink. You stink, man. Your ass stink. Damn, man. Damn. Now, if I had not been thinking, I could have given one of these numbers. Yeah, like your mom could have been like saying, like your mama's pussy stank. The bitch or hoe that had your sorry ass, your sorry sad ass. I feel sorry for your mom. Yeah, just like your mom's pussy, poontang stink. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the bitch or hoe of a mom that had your poop butt piss in. Punk, black, Negro, stupid and sick ass. You stupid and sick SOB bastard. But I don't have to go there. Yeah, I could. But then if I had went there with him, then everything would have surely went south from there. Because then he would have attempted to validate a reason to get all up in my face and then get the cussing and swearing that much more, and then attempt to put his hands on me. Like could have got up in my face and, you got some damn nerd, man. You stinking like for whatever his day could have been like that had his demonic ass become so damn demon possessed to feel this rather stupid and sick or sickening need to get the railing on me. And he got it. If I said something was if I had thought to stoop to the level, then he could have got all up my face and like, because he was attempting to validate. He was attempting to validate, or verify, or confirm a reason to attempt to pick at me that much more. But I had chosen not to give him the pleasure. I just chose to let all the other different passengers see what kind of a damn fool sicko his punk poop butt pissant punk black Negro gang banging son of a bitch ass is. So I just ignored him and kept holding my conversation or dialogue with the bus driver. And I was saying, that's sad. I'm at my own business. This black male, he feels the need to chew me out, cut me down with words, all that negativity, having diarrhea in the mouth. That's sad. When black males make the rest of black males look bad because they want to show how ignorant, insane, or stupid, and sick they are. That's why I was saying to the bus driver. That's sad. Before I got off the bus, got off at a stop premature from where I had really wanted to get off, further down up the road or whatever I was saying. You know. Yeah, if I had stooped to his level, then he would have been like all up my face. And then if I be putting my hand up and trying to get him out my face, then he'd be like attempting to provoke me that more, attempting to lean into my hand and attempt to make it seem like I touched him, so he could attempt to have a reason to, assault me, and then attempt to verify and validate or confirm. Like he would have wanted to lean into my hand if I had said something to stoop to his level. He want to lean into my hand, and then attempt to make it seem like I touched him. Say, "Did you see that, you all? He swung on me. Man, touch me again." And then lean on me again, and to make it seem like I'd instruct him, as I would just be merely trying to push him back off of me. Then he's like, "Yeah, he swung on me," and then so he could attempt to validate a reason to swing on me, and attempt to, kill two birds with one stone by attempting to provoke a situation, and then attempt to make it seem like I'm the troublemaker. See, that's how dickheads roll, dickhead pricks, dime a dozen dickhead pricks likes his kind. So I'm like thinking, yeah, whatever. I just ignored him. I said, one of these days you're gonna talk smack to somebody else, and they're gonna kick your ass and stomp the damn hell out of you. Put your poop butt pissing punk black nigga SOB ass down, and they could possibly like slash or slice his throat from ear to ear. Get up in the wrong person's face talking. He was standing up next to me at first, and then he moved down the aisle when he see that I wasn't paying him attention. I wouldn't play that game with him, as he was attempting to bait me, But anyway, though, I sensed, although the police was giving me the runaround, as I try to explain. I mean, everybody had their right according to the First Amendment of the Constitution, to freedom of speech, but you don't have the right to make other passengers upon a mass transit or public transportation system feel uncomfortable. Same can be said for the atmosphere of a place it is, be it public or private. I mean, freedom of speech can only go so far, Okay. I mean, nobody should have heard that nasty foul mouth of his, or that cocksucker having diarrhea in the mouth, But anyway, whereas I had thought to call it in to the police, but the police weren't doing their job, They're giving me the runaround, so I said, forget it, And mainly, mostly, as it was black police dispatchers, acting so damn ignorant and insane, not taking my complaint seriously or properly like they could have. And then I got some white police dispatchers. They seem to be more willing to hear what I have to say, but I was so frustrated behind what I had become subjected to experiencing coming from the black police dispatchers who were supposed to be taking my call prior to my explaining the situation to the white police dispatchers, whereas I just hung up and said, forget it. I said, y'all, I said, I didn't discuss the matter like from 13 to 21 times, and I haven't yet put in a police report, I said, forget it. If this black joker, if he literally actually assaults somebody in a physically violent way after what he has put me through, then that's on y'all. So I just hung up. So forget it. But since then, I had made a report with CTA. I sent them an email, and then I made a report with the police after that. I sent them an email. So hopefully, I won't become subject to experiencing this kind of nonsense coming from that cocksucker anytime too soon enough again. If I should see him sometime in the future, soon enough again, you know. But then if that were to happen, you get the, to the trash me again, I'm just gonna pull it out my cell phone and dial the emergency number of 911, then explain to a police dispatcher, and I'd be like saying, I'm trying to mind my own business. And this black male on CTA's premises properties, like he's a passenger as well, and he's making me feel very uncomfortable. And you all need to get the police coming this here way to address the issue, because like I'm thinking he could turn his negative verbal abuse against my person into serious physical violence against me. And this be regardless whether it were to be for a bus or train route, if I were to see him on either or. So that's what happened to me much earlier. Coming from this dickhead prick of a black male, SOB bastard, with his poop butt pissant punk ass, Like I like to told him, maybe it's your upper lip that you smell it from all that dick sucking or cock sucking the likes of your kind do behind closed locked doors. That's why you're all angry, mad all the damn time, because you ain't gonna amount to anything, because you're out here gang banging and drug pushing and dope dealing, and you're not used to any classy woman other than the street hoochie mamas or bitches and hoes that y'all will help produce babies, little monster kids, little monster kids who have something like from 6 to 12 different fathers, come from the same ghetto bitch hoe of a mom, the old school valley girl, having from a half a dozen to a dozen babies, little monster kids, being a reflection of their parents or grown-ups or adults who don't have much home training themselves, ripping and running wild in the streets like those black adolescent, black teenagers, went downtown and caused quite a bit of a ruckus, chaos, or havoc or mayhem. And then from there had the police flood that vicinity neighborhood community, because that's the business and that's business school hub of the city of our ministry. I can't get my words. It still seem like this dickhead prick of a punk ass black SOB bastard. They're not gonna have it for anywhere that they're gonna have all that nonsense for anywhere of a business and school hub of a major metropolitan city. Like downtown, similar to the north side, anywhere downtown for any city, and that'd be similar to the north side for any city. I mean, who's going to put up with all that? Any civilized person, especially white persons who own most of the real estate. Majority of the real estate in the world. Regardless of however they got it. Anyway, that's what I had to put up with. This one old fart of an SOB bastard. Black summer bitch. They should know better, With his poop butt piss and punk ass. But then on his last note of interest, I'm just going to conclude, you all. Okay. I mean, I had to share that with you all to let you know what I had to put up with. And as it was really rubbing me the wrong way, as this happened for the afternoon, for the 6th day of June in the year of our Lord and Savior 2023, and for a Tuesday of the weekend for the South Side of Chicago, Chirac, Chi-Town. But then, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins. By recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, and etc. But then nevertheless he went to that cross of Calvary to become the perfect sacrifice. The only sacrifice for you as well as for me, so that if any of us don't steal my trademark gesture, I'm gonna have to copyright it sometime. So that whereas if any of us, regardless of race, walk of life, age, and etc., whereas any of us, whatever race and whatever walks of life, fashion of society, lifestyle preferences, old, young, alike, both two sexes, the male and females represent not only the human species, but then the global community within this post 911 era, our new millennium of this apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes midnight compared on our phone private. Two then it was at a quarter midnight for these rather biblically prepared time where to profess some such faith in him. From there we become and be blessed and one with God another, more is one. First and foremost with his salvation, which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. And then second of all was deliverance. But first of all, you have got to get his salvation. Otherwise, you have got nothing coming so far as blessing is concerned. And if you make that transition for the hereafter, afterlife, you don't have that blood sacrifice of our Lord and Savior Christ, the Messiah, deliverer, the rabbis, the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, Prince of Peace. Then the only fire insurance against the lake of fire down hell, like I say, upon within your soul, then that's where your final destination would be otherwise, to be burning for all eternity in the lake of fire down hell with the rest of the unsaved, lost down human souls, the unbelievers and non-believers, and be tortured and terrorized by the devil and his demons forever, compared to how we as believers in God will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, and in the company of like-minded believers in the presence of God as angels otherwise. Hey, but then you all take care and be safe, be blessed, not stressed, if and when you can and could possibly become and be someone such as that. And I'll get back with y'all later.